auto CTM or monumental. Oh man, oh man. I got the cyan wool block, I got the blue wool block. I just need the purple. It's gonna be hard, but I can do it. I've been looking everywhere. I can't find it. Oh, I found it. Third wool block. Yeah, yeah. Gonna come play. What? Hey. Purple monument block returned. Purple monument block returned. Hey, hey. Whoa, whoa. And let's just see that one more time for fun. I'll take that. Purple monument block returned. Welcome to the auto monument, now with 80% less effort. This is just a proof of concept. I haven't actually built the entire thing, but it's just an idea that popped into my head. I was talking to a coworker, actually a few months ago, trying to explain what exactly CTM is. And I said, well, essentially, there's blocks and they're hidden away in dangerous parts of the map, and your goal is to try to survive, get to them, and bring them back to a specific location called the monument. Okay, they responded. But what happens when you complete the monument? Nothing. You just beat the map. Oh. So I was thinking, there's gotta be a way. There's gotta be a way to tell if the monument's been complete. And then I realized, remembered Sralam's taken item detector. And basically he had a system by which you would mine the brick. A detector was constantly checking your inventory to see if it could clear that brick, and if it could succeed, it would give you cobblestone. So what we have is a simple clock, a command block that is checking an 8-block radius from this point, and then it's attempting to clear 35, which is wool, 10, which is the purple wool. If it succeeds, it will output a signal. In this case, it'll power this block, which is just a console command. And if we go into the data here, you can see I've given it a custom name. And you'll want to note that if you use a color code, you'll want to use a white color code afterwards. Otherwise, the bracket, this guy, no. This guy, no. This guy, yes, will also be the color, and then the text will be white, and it just looks kind of silly. So because the block's being powered directly, the signal will continue on, and we'll power this, and this is just made with one of SethBling's filters. You could also do the same thing with TrazLanders. I think I would end up using TrazLanders because it lays it out a little more and it's a little easier to understand. SethBling's filter is great for if you just want to get it done. Daylight. And if you're not familiar with these, you'll have to watch their appropriate videos. I'll link to those below. But essentially, very brief description, you have spawners that are spawning minecarts with spawners. And you have this guy, which will pour out lava, kill the ones here. This will refresh them, and they're all set to spawn whatever they are set to spawn once. In this case, this block right here. So no block there. And if we were to just activate this one, that appears. A possible downside is if somebody messes with your stuff, it can't succeed in spawning because it's using falling sand. It intersects the block and then it gets destroyed. Same with if you have this blank and then somebody starts building there. It can't create the block. Da 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 dun. My original idea was I could have this same sort of thing, something that would try to clear a specific block. Then you'd want another command block that would increase a scoreboard variable, probably something like purple wool equals 1. Then you could come back to the monument, and when you're within range, it would simply appear. I liked that idea, but then it took away the whole element of I'm going to take 2 wool blocks, I'm going to place one on the ground as I journey back to the monument, just in case I die and lose it. Then I can go back and get that one. I don't have to go all the way back to the dungeon. That's an aspect of the game that I think adds a lot of gameplay, a lot of value. So I didn't want to take that away. So with this system, you still have to get it. You still have to make it back to the monument. It's not until you're within the monument's range that it takes it from you. Why should it take it from you rather than you just place it? Well, for one, it's different. And because it's different, it's just kind of cool. 2, these don't have to be on floor level. They could be decorated up somehow. Am I in 3? 3, by doing it this way, you know not just that the player picked up the wool block, but also that they placed the wool block. 4, this can trigger other effects now, because you know through this system that they brought this here. You can have other things, like these appear. When I first heard of Complete the Monument, I imagined a giant statue, and it'd be missing random blocks, and you had to go throughout the map and find the blocks, and then come in, maybe destroy the signs that would say what type of blocks were there, and replace them. And when you were done, you had this structure. Then I found out it was like something like this, which made more sense. With this system, you could have that. Each block you bring back could build a portion of some type of decorative structure. Now, if you want this block to build the bottom, and this block to build the center, and this block to build the top, you're going to have to keep in mind that you have to make sure they return them in order. However, you could simply just have a counter. 1 block returned, build the first part, 2 block returned, build the second part, etc. The other limit on this system is it's clearing a specific item. I use only 3 wool blocks in my map, and I eliminate the possibility of getting these 3 wool blocks. To get any blue colored wool, you have to have lapis. I don't allow any method to have lapis. In Vex's map, he has white wool. Well, you're not supposed to use the white wool for the monument, but if you were to craft 4 spider strings into a white wool, or if you found a sheep and made a white and killed it and picked up a white wool, and you were to come within proximity of the system, it wouldn't know that that's not a monument block. It would just take it anyway. But something decorative like this, where each color is kind of independent, doesn't really matter which one goes in what order, that works perfect with this. Having it so it just counts the wool blocks, builds the first part, second part, third part, that should work fine with this. Just remember, for every block you need to place, there has to be a spawner. And you don't want to go too crazy with the spawners, because that can crash some of the slower systems down probably pretty easy. There's one other use that I thought of for this system, and it's kind of what triggered this whole idea, and that was the idea of key items. Key items in RPGs are items you get, and you don't really have them in your inventory, like say this redstone. The system would take that, clear it, and based on if it could successfully clear it, add a value to a variable. When in another area later on, something could activate a check to see if that's true. Do you have the yellow key? You have to be careful with the item you use. It has to be an item that you could not normally obtain. Actually, these spawn eggs would be perfect. You could have them in a chest. It has a very specific ID tag. There's no other way for the player to get it legitimately. It would be cleared almost right away. and you could rename them. You could even have a texture pack that makes them look like keys. There you go, that's a solution. So the idea is, maybe you can actually only reach Dungeon 1. But when you return this, and it says cyan block equals 1, and then you have something else hooked up to this clock that says if cyan block, check any player anywhere for cyan block to equal 1, then teleport a series of TNT blocks into this other area of the map, which then, as soon as you walk into that area, explode, opening a new passageway to the next area. Or you can even have something as simple as a room with a bunch of buttons that all teleport you, but only if you've acquired the correct wool block. So my final thought, so what happens when you complete the monument? Whatever the mapper wants to happen. Fireworks, teleported to a final challenge area, simply teleported to a decorated area where it says, congratulations, you've won. I really like this idea. And again, it's just a proof of concept, but it's definitely something I'm going to be toying with, thinking about exactly how I want to utilize it. And I'd love to hear your ideas for such a system in the comment section below. One other idea I have. What if each individual wool block also had an associated benefit? Maybe bringing back the cyan wool block gives you a slight speed boost for the rest of the game. Perhaps the blue wool block gives you a slight strength bonus. Perhaps the purple wool block gives you a slow regeneration. Slow regeneration? How could you do that? If you can't figure it out, I will show you in a future video. Well, that's all I have for this. I'm off to play more with Block 36. This has been bRanN. See you next video. Have a great day.